board meeting to order. Regarding item 1, public access to meetings, this meeting is open for public attendance and is available for people to watch via live stream. Moving into agenda item 2, oath of office, we have our ceremonial oath of office for elected board members, and so I'd like to invite Barb up here with both
Will and
Jim.
And
Meg.
Meg.
And Meg, I'm sorry.
Yes. And
Sorry. I think we did that last year.
Or do you want us?
Too.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Read it or repeat it?
Repeat it.
Do you want us
I think that, yeah.
You guys can,
Look at the camera. I'll scoot back. I don't want to be in the camera.
Yeah, we'll let him.
Oh, and then what does she do? She turns this side. Go darn.
I state your name,
I will share.
having been elected to the school board of the Stevens Point Area Public School District, swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability, so help me God.
The official now.
Well, ceremoniously official.
Thank you, Barb, and congratulations, Meg and Will and Jim.
Congratulations. Okay, moving on to agenda item 3, meeting opening and roll call. We have Carlin who will call roll in the verification of quorum.
Ms. Erler,
Here.
Mr. Kowalski,
Here.
Mr. Lepak,
Here.
Mr. Pope,
Here.
Ms. Portson,
here.
Mr. Robbie,
Here.
Mr. Shader,
Here.
Mr. Summers,
Here.
Ms. Bushman,
Here.
and we have a quorum.
Thank you, Carlin. If we could please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will move on to agenda item 5, public comments. We did not have any emailed comments, and it doesn't look like anyone signed up for comments here. Okay, so moving on to agenda item 6, voting method. We have a selection of form to vote. And so we, as a board, will choose our method of voting. So our options include written ballot with initials, secret written ballot with no initials, or a roll call vote.
I will move to have the method of voting for officer positions to be a written ballot with initials.
I will second that.
Okay, would you like to have discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not in favor of that. I think the legislature put that in there because they recognize this is the one decision that we make that becomes personal. It's not on an issue, it's not an agenda item, it really is on you as an individual. And when you look at that board and you look at how many people are contesting with other people for the same position, that is exactly why we want it to be anonymous. And the public, they have every right to know your views on the agenda items, but this is a nonpartisan position, so it really shouldn't be a great concern that they know how you voted for an individual. I think we'll have much more honest and less drama if we have an anonymous election. We had it last year, and there were some projections that there were some people that said, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and really nothing happened. It really is a personal decision, ours, of how we go about it. But I'm strongly in favor of the anonymous voting as opposed to putting their initial on it and people going there after the election and saying, oh, so-and-so didn't support me, I thought they would, blah, blah, blah.
Ted?
I'm completely opposed to that opinion. In fact, I think we should do a roll call and have everybody say exactly how you feel. The trust accelerators that we go by on the board should allow us to speak freely and openly to each other about how we feel, about how we vote. And transparency on the board is one of the keynotes of being on a school board.
I made the motion, and
We have a second.
right, but I'll note, I believe that this isn't about us, this is about the public. And in all my time on the board, I never asked to see the vote. I'm not aware of other board members that have ever asked to see the vote. But,
I was told.
but I guess what I'm saying is I believe that it's important from a transparency perspective if the members of the public want to see the vote. I mean, I think we as board members have to make really tough decisions every day. And there are going to be people who are happy with us or unhappy with us. And very, very rarely, in very, very unique circumstances under open meetings law, are we allowed to be in closed session. And I believe that with this, that I don't have any understanding of why we wouldn't have this information be open to
So
the public.
I think Barb did have her hand up first.
I was going to say I agree with Dennis because we have had issues in the past, and I would like to keep the board the way we're kind of going in a nice, smooth area.
Could be wrong, but I don't believe members of the public have gone and asked for the election results. I know that board members have.
Board have-
Correct.
So I don't know where this pent-up energy is regarding the members of the public who want to see that vote. I don't think that's accurate. And the reason, again, that they allow for the exclusion is because they understand that, you're voting for individuals, and people are people. Some people take that very well, some don't take it very well. But I don't think we are being non-transparent with the public. Honestly, the public, I don't believe, is that interested in who I voted for. If they ask me, I tell them. But I've never had anyone ask me who I voted for. That's it.
Jem, did you have your hand raised?
No.
Okay, did you?
Are you raised your hand?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that to me, this is not a transparency issue. To me, this is allowing members of this board to feel comfortable voting without feeling intimidated or strongly influenced on who they vote for. It's allowing them to vote for who they think is best. And to Dennis's point, not everyone feels comfortable, being put in a position where they may vote for someone that's different than someone else that wanted the vote, and that's why the Wisconsin State Legislature has this, right? I mean, it's there for a reason, and it's only for the election of officers. I may state. Yes, G.
I'm in favor of a transparent vote. After last year, I did get 3 emails from people that were upset. Well, you hear the word secret, and all of a sudden, I don't like it, and other people don't like secret. I think we're elected officials, should be responsible for our vote. As Dennis said, I'm happy to tell you, if you want to ask. So why not put it out there? And I would think anybody that would be so petty as to and I don't think anybody here is that, to like hold a grudge against somebody that didn't vote for them. I don't think anybody here does that. I just want to be open. I don't want to have a secret, and I don't think we should as a board. That's the way I feel.
I do want to note the legislature didn't say secret. The legislature provides each board in the state with the option
Correct.
of 3 different
correct.
ways to vote.
Right.
And 2 out of the 3 of those ways are having that vote be available to members of the public.
And I did connect with neighboring school districts, and many have chosen the secret ballot. So it's not out of line in terms of an option. Okay, any other discussion? Yes, Will?
I also agree it's a transparency issue. As somebody who's been on boards like this and run for offices where my fellow and oftentimes friends had to make decisions on who the leader of that group was going to be, I've never felt it was a personal attack on me when people didn't vote for my candidacy for something. And I would never consider it a personal attack on somebody if I didn't vote for them or did vote for them one way or the other for a candidacy, for a board leadership spot. I think that we have healthy, respectful disagreements on this board all the time, and I think that's a good thing for democracy and for our community.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, so we had a second. Should we go roll call vote, Carlin? Okay.
Certainly can. Okay. Ms. Erler?
Aye.
Say the motion first, so that we know.
So
what we're
the motion is for the board to use the written ballot with initials method of voting for officer positions.
Okay. Mr. Shader?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Summers?
Nay.
Mr. Kowalski?
Aye.
Ms. Portson?
No,
Mr. Robbie?
No.
Mr. Lepak?
Nope.
Ms. Bushman?
No.
And motion fails 5-4.
I make a motion to have a secret ballot with no initials.
Second.
Okay, comments?
Once again, our trust accelerators tell us that we really shouldn't be needing this, that open and transparency should be able to do this for us. I'd be in favor of doing the roll call vote.
Same thing as I said before. I don't like the word secret. If we're proud of what we vote, we should be able to do it in front of everybody. And so that's what I have to say.
I agree with G. I think each of us is entitled to a vote, and each of us should be comfortable in that vote. And I think that members of our community, if they so choose to want to access that, as virtually every other decision this board makes, should be able to have that access. And I believe that is counter to the concept of transparency, because we can choose in this situation to be transparent. And as a board, if we choose to allow it to be not available to the public, then we are choosing to keep that vote hidden from members of the public.
So I have a different interpretation, and I am concerned because a previous board member has told me that after an organizational meeting, this individual right away would go to see who voted for whom and looked at the initials. And to me, that's influencing and intimidating, and so that's my comment. Any other comments?
Well, all the more reason to do a roll call vote. You wouldn't have to look. You would know right away.
And that's a previous board member.
Correct. Okay,
But
so
I don't know why that's intimidating.
I don't know.
Don't ask me, I'll tell you.
that's
I'll
my
tell you right now.
interpretation. Okay, so we're looking for a roll call vote, please, Carlin?
Mr. Summers?
Yes.
So please state
Yep,
again.
so the motion to approve a secret ballot with no initials as the method of voting for officer positions. Was the motion made?
Mr. Robbie?
Yes.
Mr. Pope?
No,
Mr. Shader?
Nay.
Mr. Kowalski?
No.
Ms. Portson?
yes,
Ms. Erler?
No.
Mr. Lepak?
yes,
Ms. Bushman?
Yes.
And that motion carries 5-4.
Okay, thank you, Carlin. And we will move to agenda item 7, selection of temporary chairperson. We have the selection of temporary chairperson to preside for election of president. I'm looking for a motion to appoint Superintendent Hirschbrenner as temporary chair.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Alex, second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about the protocol that we generally use for this, and then I will open the position of president up, and then whoever is chosen as president will then take over from that point. So the nominations for the presidency will open. If only one candidate is nominated, the board may elect by unanimous consent or acclamation or request a vote by the voting method that you just determined. Once each person is nominated, the nominee can just say a few words as to why they think they are a good fit for that role. If more than one candidate is nominated, a vote will be taken by the voting method determined by the board. If no candidate receives a majority, balloting continues, retaining on the ballot all candidates who do not voluntarily withdraw. The superintendent and board secretary will tally the votes, and then will announce after the votes are tallied who will take over as president. So with that, I'm going to open up nominations for the office of president.
I just want to ask point of clarification. So I believe in the past, for example, if we had, I know that only 2 people have kind of indicated an interest, but in the past, if we had 3, what would happen is that the top 2 would advance. It isn't that someone has to withdraw.
Right.
So I just want to clarify that if we have more for kind of any of these positions tonight, if there are more than 2 of us,
Yeah.
and we don't have a majority, then the top 3, or top 2 will advance unless there's a tie.
Correct.
For whatever reason between certain people, and that'll be determined with each vote.
Yep.
And I think that's wise, because otherwise you'd have there might be, 3 candidates, and you really have someone who voted for the third person, but it could have been the other 4 really wanted the second person, so you
Right.
get a truer accounting of who they want for leadership, so I think that's wise.
Correct.
Okay, so I will open up nominations for the presidency. Right now, we have Jennifer Bushman and G. Pope that have expressed an interest.
I'll nominate Jen Bushman.
I'd like to nominate G. Pope.
Okay, so G. Pope and Jen Bushman have been nominated. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? If not, nominations are now closed, and you have...
Say
Hold
some-
it, didn't they have a speech?
Oh, you're right. Thank
You
you.
could just say,
Thank you.
or just like say a few words as
Thank
to
you.
why,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to go first,
G,
G,
why
or-
don't you go and say just a few words?
All right.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to thank Jennifer. She had a great job leading us through this year. Getting the referendum was a huge deal, and you got us through that, and that was wonderful. I think, that being said, I think this next year, our real focus is going to be and should be on academic achievement in our schools. And I think I'm qualified, uniquely qualified on the board here to help, if you want to say shepherd us or whatever, to move forward in that goal. That's
Thank you, G.
my spiel.
Jen?
So it has been an honor to serve as the board president alongside all of you for the last year. We've accomplished a lot as a board, and we've accomplished a lot advocating in support of our students and our teachers and our parents and the collective community. There's been some chatter that I've heard in pockets of the community that I might not be the most ideal candidate for president because I am, quote, too busy. And I'd like to just take a few moments to address that. I am in the midst of my professional career. I've worked really hard to get where I'm at. I'm proud of what I've accomplished. As most of you know, I also have 3 young children in the district, so it is no secret that I am busy. And I have the collective support of my husband and my children to serve on the board and in this leadership capacity as I have in the last year. And that has allowed me to prioritize what's most meaningful to me. And the work of the board and public education is meaningful, just as all of you prioritize what's meaningful to you. It is a dangerous narrative for anyone to perpetuate that a woman may not be the most ideal or qualified to lead because she is too busy in the workplace or too busy in her personal life. And so I just, wanted to reiterate that I have been able to lead successfully, have been able to wear many hats, and I look forward to doing so should you allow me to. Thank you.
Okay. In front of you,
Do we have to appoint the board secretary?
Not yet.
Not
Or not
yet.
yet? Okay.
In front of you, you have ballots. You've chosen to vote without initials, so please do not put your initials on there. So if you could cast your ballot for president, I will come around.
Pickles or something.
Chocolate.
Meg has one too.
I was when I'm not going.
president is Jennifer Bushman.
Great, thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, so we will now move to the election of vice president. Nominations are now open for the office of vice president.
I nominate Ted.
I nominate Dennis.
Okay. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? If not, nominations are now closed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Who would like to speak first?
Dennis. Basically, vice president is a vital role. It's, that person would fill in for the president if they're not here. But I look at it as a training position to become president. And frankly, in my third year, I would like to run for president. And so I would like to go into the vice president role to do a good job to prepare for being president. And so, to my way of thinking, this would be the perfect opportunity to step in and to learn how to do the job properly. And so I hope that you'll support me for my role for this position of vice president.
Thanks, Ted.
I don't want to be president. But the reason I want to be vice president is I truly believe that I've been a strong advocate for a lot of the issues that are so important to our community, our students, and our staff. And I think G's right, the direction every year changes a little bit with the board, but I believe this is a crucial time for our staff and teachers regarding their compensation. And I have worked hard with the administration in terms of advancing concepts that would be helpful. And I think this next year, when we look at the model again, the compensation model, that is going to be very, very important. I believe I bring a unique perspective and experience to the position. And finally, this board is a wonderful board, and everybody I know personally and everybody who I've met, they're great people. Different philosophies, different perspectives, varying perspectives. And in my entire career, either as in holding positions on boards or in my professional career, my strength has been to pull ideas and try to find common ground, and respecting the opinions of others, respecting the perspectives, and hearing the voices. So I'd like to continue that because I don't believe the work is done, and I believe you need strong, experienced advocates in the leadership capacity, just like we had for many years with Meg, and certainly now with Jen. And I think that we have been a strong partnership to advance the concepts of this board, and I'd like to continue that for another year for sure.
Please cast your vote for vice president.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, it's always worth it going somewhere. It's all, I mean, so different. We've been to better places, but it was still, I mean, it's still worth it, you know. We're getting ready to go Hawaii. See Normandy. Stuff like that.
Overseas again.
Right. Ask the board. I think that's the way we've done it, but I think we should continue, but ask the board if that's the
Vice
right.
president is Dennis. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, so we are now moving on to election of treasurer. Just for clarification.
Treasurer, clerk. Okay, clerk.
Clerk.
Oh, is it clerk? Okay, I got it in a different order. Sorry about that. Let's move on to election of clerk. And so nominations are now open for the office of clerk.
I would like to nominate Barb Portson.
I nominate Will.
I will not accept that nomination, thank you.
Uncontested.
Are there any further nominations?
Still have to do a speech, though.
Oh, okay.
No, not yet, I mean, she had
Oh,
to.
okay,
finish
okay.
it.
Are there,
Just thinking out loud.
okay, are there any further nominations? If not, nominations are closed, and we would love to hear from you, Barb, as to why you like this position.
I think my strongest point is that I'm retired and I can come in and sign documents anytime I want.
Very important.
Actually matters, right?
Okay, so I think we can cast a unanimous vote, if everyone's
That's
okay
what
with
the
that.
Yep.
Okay, so all in favor with Barb serving as clerk?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hey, congratulations, Barb, motion carries.
Congrats.
Okay, so now let's move into the election of treasurer. So just a point of clarification. Typically, in the past, for those that serve as treasurer, they are also chair.
Clerk.
All
Yeah,
of
you're
business
right, right.
services.
They also chair the Business Services and HR Committee. Is the board okay with that?
I'll withdraw. I'll withdraw then.
Strike Alex.
So, okay, so does the board want to continue with that?
I would be in
It
favor of
makes
that.
sense,
Yeah.
just from a
Okay, so then
organizational
with
perspective.
that, we have Alex that has withdrew. Okay, so nominations are now open for the office of treasurer.
I'll nominate Ted Kowalski.
Thank you. I nominate you, Will.
I will withdraw.
Oh, okay. All right, so are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Okay, if not, nominations are closed, and if we can have let's just cast a vote. Oh, sorry, Ted. You want to really hear the speeches tonight, so I'm so sorry.
I got plenty of time to get it. There's no back name.
We have time, I guess. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, John. I was a citizen volunteer on the finance or the business committee for 3 years before and during COVID and everything else. And so it was really a good groundwork. In fact, it was that groundwork being treasurer or on the committee that brought me in to actually run for the board. And I do enjoy the finances. And so I'm looking forward to it. And I look to see that we spend our money just as well as we possibly can. And we're doing a good job. We're going to continue that job.
So I think we can cast a unanimous vote, and the motion would be for Ted to serve as treasurer and to also serve as chair of Business Services and HR Committee. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Congratulations, Ted.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ted.
Okay, so now let's move to Chair of Ed Services.
Oh, appointment of board.
Oh, sorry, a very important role. We have appointment of board secretary, and so we're looking, typically, we do have Carlin serve as board secretary, so we're looking for a motion to approve Carlin Krautkreimer as school board secretary.
So moved.
Good with that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Congrats,
Congratulations, Carlin.
You don't want to tell us why you really want this. I don't want to hear this speech.
Moving to the election of chairs for standing board committees, and so let's move to Ed Services. It looks like we have G, Alex, and Will all interested in chairing Ed Services. So do we?
Well, let's
Will
just,
wants to.
Just looking at the interest of both the committees, I will sit on business services.
Oh, thank you.
okay, thanks, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Appreciate that. That saves us some.
Thank you, yes.
Wait, okay.
Okay, do we want speeches? Is
Yeah,
that, okay,
that's fine.
so G, or,
Should we do nominations first?
oh, sure, okay,
Mea culpa.
I will nominate G. Pope.
okay.
I nominate Alex.
Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Okay, the nominations are closed, so let's hear from Alex.
Ed Services is kind of a thing that's near and dear to my heart as a teacher right now, and as someone who loves curriculum and is keenly aware of education and curricular areas and the importance of quality curriculum. And as G said in his speech earlier about the presidency, the importance of making sure that our test scores do go up. And I have been very vocal in my desire to ensure that our test scores do go up. So with that in mind, my whole goal is to ensure that our staff are supported through quality curriculum, our students are supported through quality curriculum with the staff that have been trained properly with that curriculum. So to ensure that everything we're doing here as a board collectively is pushing those goals is truly what I'm running for.
Thanks, Alex. G?
Okay, I've been Ed Services Chairman now twice, I think, before this. 2 years. Of everybody on the board here, I am the only person that actually taught in the school district. So when we talk to teachers about formulating curriculum, I know the people we're talking to. I've been talking to them. We've been talking to Jeff and Chris all along, and this year, as you said, the focus has got to be curriculum, achievement. We've got the money thing settled for a while, and I think that when we start talking to our administrators and our teachers about getting our curriculum aligned with the state standards, that in this district, I know the corners, the hallways, the people, and I think that qualifies me uniquely to head up that push to get our academics where we want them to be. Thank you.
Thanks, G. Okay, so if you could please cast our ballot.
We can do it that way. Carlin, are you comfortable with that? Go ahead.
So
This is
I
not a
just have a
secret.
clarification. I believe that the legislative exception in terms of private ballots is
Oh,
for
right,
officers.
just for officers. Okay.
Not for
Okay.
committee
Okay.
chairs, so I think,
Okay.
I mean, we can,
Nope,
we
you're
can.
right.
No, you're right, you're right. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, so then,
So we put
Roll
our
call vote,
initials on?
please.
Oh, roll call.
we do roll call vote?
No, we could, or you can do it with
Or we could
initials.
just write it down too, right? With initials? Couldn't we do that?
That's
Yeah, you could do that.
how we've
with
Right?
initials.
done it in the past.
To the board.
Yep.
Okay.
Best practice, office, what is this?
Office of Ed Services
Chair.
Chair.
Thank you.
Yep. Did you put your initials on it?
Could be bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Put
did.
Ted's initials on mine. I thought it was just the initials, I didn't know it was my own. I thought we could pick somebody.
Oh, shoot.
It's not gonna make, thank you, though.
Ted voted 4 times. What's going on?
Oh. That would be bad.
Trying to stuff the ballot box.
So you're gonna get another dollar.
Did get another one.
Jeez.
The chair of Ed Services is G. Pope.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Did you, do you have a picture?
Okay, so we are looking for a motion to approve the election of committee chairs for the 24-25 term.
So moved.
Okay,
Second?
second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving on to agenda item 10, appointment of board members to standing committees. Okay, so it looks like a majority of the board, so you can take me off, please, Sarah.
Yep.
Wants to serve in Ed Services. And I guess I can be taken off of Business Services HR.
Yep.
So we would have to swap over, we're looking for 2 people
Yep.
to move over to Business Services HR.
Can you explain the options to them if we don't get those 2? There's a second option. if not enough people want to go to business services, then the other option is that some people might volunteer not to be on a committee. Either way, we have to.
Move
have to-
one at
we have
least,
to
right,
make
at
the
minimum.
Change. And I think Meg, earlier I had a conversation, Meg, if you don't mind me.
Oh, no, so the only thing I've asked for is Ed Services.
No.
And no, I'm just saying, I'll just note, the only thing I've asked for is Ed Services, and the reason I've done that is I've never served on the committee. And we do have a policy that, you know, encourages and recognizes the importance of board members trying out different committees. So I would like to try Ed Services.
Okay.
So
Am I hearing you say?
On business services.
I know, I checked.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you,
Barb's
Barb.
going over.
Anyone else interested in business services and HR?
So,
It's fun, you guys. You should come over.
Bliss, I am an HR, yes, that is my wheelhouse. I
He
agree.
can't go. And Meg has made it clear that that's a high priority for her.
So do we want to hear
I
from,
think it's a high priority for, I'm not speaking to you, but that's your forte.
and Jim, do you want to speak to what your interest in Ed Services?
That was, just being part of the Ed Services Committee was one of the main things for me to even run for the board.
Okay. So then the other option would be,
Someone dropped a note. I've already expressed that I would, not gladly, but I would drop off from a service. I'm not interested in serving on business service, again, nothing personal. It's just I'm not interested in going there. But if someone, I feel like I have a good grasp on both those committees, but I would certainly not be on a committee if it evened things out.
thoughts from the board?
Pardon me?
I mean, I'd be willing to serve on both of them. I really want to serve on Ed Services. I mean, I've been on business services a couple of times, but
Just put me on business service. I'll take one for
Yeah.
the team.
Thank you, Dennis.
That's where I am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dennis.
Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right.
For all that we talk about money, I thought you'd be more interested in
HR is riveting, I think.
riveting.
Okay, so then we are looking to, okay, so we have that. We got to go to the rest, right?
Pardon me?
So,
I
Yep.
think we
Oh,
do
we have a
standing
separate-
committees first,
okay,
yeah.
perfect. Okay, so we're looking to appoint the members to the board, standing committees, business services, HR, and educational services.
So moved.
Presented, okay.
Alex?
Second?
Meg? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we will move to the selection of board and committee meetings, dates, and times. And so currently, we do hold our regular board meetings the second Monday of the month at
Don't we have
Oh,
those?
no.
Do the
Do we want to talk about the?
for us.
I think
yeah,
we'll
but
do that
that's,
after.
but it's actually
Those are
number,
the- that's
agenda
number
item 12.
Was it
12.
after?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So typically, we hold the regular board meetings the second Monday of the month at 6:30. And we are asking board members if they would consider starting at a 6 PM start time. It still allows those that work to get to the board meetings. We also recognize that some of our board meetings have run really late. And another consideration was when we have staff that present and administration that presents, it's a closer kind of gap from the end of their workday and the start of the board meeting. And then for our committee meetings, we currently meet the first Monday of the month. Ed Services starts at 5:30 and Business Services at 6:30. And so, go ahead.
I'm totally fine with 6. We've talked about it pretty much every year, and there's typically been one member of the board that just can't get here by 6. So if we all can be here, I think that makes a lot of sense.
6 works.
I can be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am looking for a motion to approve the recommended date and time for regular board meetings and committee meetings.
So moved.
Will, can you do 6:30?
Okay, so motion by Dennis,
Second?
second by Meg, discussion. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Can you restate it before we vote?
Sure.
I mean, I
Sure.
know it, but I want to restate it
Sure.
so we know what we're voting for.
Sure. So the motion is for the recommended date and time of the regular board meeting, the second Monday of the month, to start at 6 PM. Committee meetings will continue the first Monday of the month, and will continue ed services at 5:30 and businesses services HR at 6:30.
Thank you.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will now move to agenda item 12, appointment of board members to ad hoc committees. So we have G is the only one that has served or has expressed interest for the WASB delegate. Is there anyone else? Okay,
Good experience.
And what is that, what does that entail?
So at the convention in January, G has to go to the delegate assembly and cast a vote on behalf of the district.
For the resolutions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's a riveting
every-
experience.
Riveting experience.
that is really riveting. Yeah. Truly riveting.
She loves it, though.
She does.
Yeah, it's great. You get a chance to see what other school boards are thinking.
Yep.
You know, the resolutions, we talked about them before I went. And I will say that I'm hoping that we can come up with some kind of a resolution process that if somebody wants to make one from our board, that we can have a process ready for them if they want to do that, you know? So, but that's a side, hopefully we can do that.
Anyone else interested in?
Well, and I guess just to note for Will and Jim, the board prior to that meeting, as a board, we go through all the resolutions and then we, as a board, come up with how we want G as our delegate to vote. There are times, though, that G as our delegate, if there's some amendments going on the floor, then he has the authority and the
Things-
ability
yeah,
to make those
things always
choices on
change.
behalf of us. Yeah.
But it's a great experience. I mean, all the school districts are there and they're hashing over what they want to say. So,
So do we need a formal vote?
No, if G's
Okay.
interested,
All right,
that's
so CISA 5 delegates, we have 3 interested, Ted, Barb, and Will. So,
can we have an explanation of what that means?
Sure, so,
There.
yep, there's a meeting actually on May 16th at 7 o'clock in Portage at CISA 5. So that person would serve as our representative from the school board from Stevens Point.
The 16th?
May 16th
a
at
Thursday.
7 PM. It's a
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah. Wow. We're going down to 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a meeting down there. So
Yeah.
it's not the same meeting. Okay.
That's, that conflicts with Showtime at Spash.
Yes, it does.
I was gonna go see that.
so this delegate would attend that May 16th, 2024 convention at 7 PM
Yep.
in Portage.
Yep.
I could do that.
I guess I don't feel super strongly about it, so I'll let you or Barb have it.
You're going to withdraw?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so
But Ted, you were that last year?
I was that last year, yes.
So what are the duties other than going to that
It
meeting?
was pretty much that one meeting. It was very interesting, met a lot of people, talked about different things. High praise for Dr. Owens. They talk about you at CISA 5, and they say really good things about you, too.
lovingly, I was going to say.
It's pretty impressive. But met a lot of people and learned a lot of things, but it's essentially that one meeting.
Barb, do you want to share your interest in why you would like to serve as a CISA 5 delegate?
Well, there hasn't been a lot of interest in the past, and I thought, well, I'd give it a shot, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I could do it. I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you withdrawing, Barb? Are you
Sure.
withdrawing? Okay. Just want to clarify.
So we have Ted serving as our CISA 5 delegate. Okay, let's go to the Boston School Forest. We need 1 member. We have 3 interested, Barb, Will, and Meg.
Again, I've gotten to do that one a lot. So, did you?
I guess this is the only one I do kind of want because I have an
Yeah, you gotta
environmental.
stick them there one time.
I have an environmental science degree, so I do, and I know people who work there, and I believe in the mission of that site. So
Barb, are you withdrawing?
Yes.
Okay.
They need the
Meg?
And I've never been on it, but if you're interested, you go for that. Yeah, I'll withdraw
Okay,
as
so
well.
Meg's withdrawing, okay. And then we have the technology committee, and we have two interested, Barb and Will. So given that Barb is not on a committee, and you, I mean, you can serve on more than one, but
I mean, Barb can have it if she wants.
Barb?
Thanks, Will.
Okay, so Will's withdrawing, we
Faith
have
and
Barb,
enthusiasm.
the technology
Faith.
committee. Okay. So we're going to take a motion to approve all of the appointments of the named board members to serve as representatives on the Boston School Forest Committee, CISA 5 delegate, Technology
Steering committee.
Steering Committee. I don't know why it is not here. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion.
And the WASB delegate.
And the WASB delegate. I don't have that here, but in the WASB, thank you. In the WASB
So
delegate.
moved.
Second.
Motion. Second, I think was,
Give it to Will, it's
Will?
fine.
Okay.
Sure.
I will. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We are moving to agenda item 13, general information and/or action, the approval of signature facsimile resolutions. We are looking for a motion to continue signature facsimile use resolution and the new signature facsimile resolution.
So moved.
Motion made by Alex, second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We are moving to 13B, future meetings, dates, and times. We have our regular school board meeting, our next one after tonight's, on June 10th. We have the board retreat scheduled for June 24th. I know we are working on the agenda for that. And then we have our regular school board meeting, if needed, July 8th. There are times where there's just not enough agenda items, and so we don't meet in July.
For the board retreat, do we have a location or time?
Time is tentatively set from 5 to 7 or 7:15, and then Carlin and I are working on a location.
Corey, would it be appropriate, I've heard various board members over the last 3 or 4 months have some ideas regarding what they'd like to see at the
Yeah.
retreat. Can they contact you and let you
Absolutely.
know? Okay, good.
And I think typically it's been more like 5 to 9.
5 to 9, yeah. It was late last year.
Yeah, because we usually have a little something to eat a little bit beforehand. I'm sure.
You want to go
there's-
later? I mean,
Well, I
Well,
think-
let's
schedule
get down
it
to
later,
business.
And if we get out early, fine, but
Right.
this way, and we'll see how things go.
okay.
Okay, so we have, and then also we have our Ed Services Committee, first Monday of the month at 5:30, and then for Educational Services and Business Services and HR at 6:30 PM. So agenda item 14, adjourn meeting. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Alex,
Second.
second by Meg. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned. 45-minute break.
How much?
Do you have